You can't see, but I've got goosebumps like coming up around my ears under these headphones.
The virality of the video.
Wedding photographers and videographers are a little bit apprehensive.
But I got I think it's like 8.4 million on that.
Nobody goes from 1850 to 10k.
Because I send a voice message, the more likely to send a voice message back.
TikTok's like a strange blend between a YouTube and an Instagram.
They're expecting to see the $10,000 camera after they've seen the iPhone footage.
People do underestimate YouTubers.
1999 and 1950.
Mine was like that until about 6 months ago.
The person who's best to compare myself to is me.
We remove our opinion on all of the content.
Shock horror, my Insta360 caught the whole thing.
It's going to sound awful and probably get crucified for this.
Oh, yeah, something has happened once, but the police have come.
How's it going, everyone? Jamie, how are you doing, mate?
All good. What's going on?
I was just waiting for the surprise to see what your background was going to be today. That's what I was waiting for.
I went for an old school office. Don't know why.
So that's got nothing to do with Harvey Specter from Suits, like the normal one.
Oh no, just random. I mix it up. Do you know what I mean?
I didn't know if it was like a different angle, and I was trying to work out where it was actually from. But welcome to the Facebook Live today, guys. Today we are going to be looking at the secret hack to measure exactly how good your video ad is. Because there's certain things that you can do to work out if your ads are actually working specifically for videos. We're going to be going over some different ways that you can improve how you can grab attention on social media. We're going to tell you some of the things that we've tried and what's worked previously. Like always, any questions that you guys have as we're going through the Facebook Live, make sure you get them in the comment section and we're going to be answering them for you. So Jamie, where would you like to kick off the live today, mate?
Yeah, I think just talking about starting on the video ad stuff is it seems to be commonplace that, especially for the videographers, to have their show reels, and we'll often see, this is where we often show people that their show reels aren't doing well, or why their show reels aren't doing well on social media. So if you are a videographer, then it tends to start with something slow. Might even start with like a black screen, or it takes a little bit of slow music, like tension building almost. But for social media, that's not what you want. You need things to happen fast and quickly in order to grab attention, because it's an absolute race for it. So you need to do it quickly. And what we're going to dive into here is we're going to jump into Facebook Ads Manager, and we're going to look at how to build the custom metric. Now, it's literally can be done now in just a few clicks. And it's because Facebook have been seeing it go on for so long. We've been using this for years and years now. But Facebook are actually prompting people to use this. And what it is basically is a blend of metrics. So Facebook have or Meta, which goes over Facebook and Instagram ads, they have a feature where any ad metrics that you have, you can create a custom metric, which is an equation of different metrics. And the one that we're going to go over is how to measure your video ad. Should I just share my screen and dive in, do you think?
Yeah, I mean, we can jump in. Just before you share your screen, what I was going to say is just on the back of what you were saying about like the videographers and I suppose even photographers, if they do make like a show reel of the best work, it's difficult for people to wrap their head around in the first instance why you wouldn't actually show your best work on social media, because you think, right, this is me show reel. These are all of me best clips. Of course, this is what I want people to see. But it goes back to having the concept it goes back to having the idea of, right, what are people actually thinking about when they're on social media? So, and you can see how fast the people scroll. Just watch someone, if you're in a coffee shop and who's on the phone, your partner, go and have a look at how fast they're scrolling. And if you start with this black background and it takes about 10 seconds, sometimes 15 seconds before we even realize that it's a wedding video that we're looking at, you're not going to grab their attention. And there's certain ways that you can really, really grab attention on social media. But this custom metric, it's not just a case of guessing. This metric actually tells us exactly if we are grabbing attention or not. So yeah, let's share the screen, Jamie, and jump into it, mate.
I'm just making a note of something that you said there. Yeah, so it's basically the way to measure your video ads is through some custom metrics here. So I am going to present the screen here. It gets a bit funny here on StreamYard Ads Manager. This one. All right, what can we see? That's the one. So we're basically looking at here. We are looking at where can we put our heads? That's better, so you can zoom in. I'm gonna zoom in to this so everyone can see it a bit bigger. There you go. So basically, as we scroll in, we've got our custom column set up. You can see the columns are custom setup that we do in everyone in the accelerator does. So what we've got here is attention / thumb stop rate and hold rate. So these two metrics, but specifically the effectiveness to measure is attention, thumb stop. And it's a combination of two metrics. Now, if we hover over, we'll be able to see that is 3-second video plays divided by impressions and set as a percentage. Now, what that's going to do is give us how many of the impressions that this ad was served to, what percentage of those stopped and watched for at least 3 seconds. And that's how we're going to measure our attention rate. And the way to do this is to click this columns tab here. And then you're going to come down to customize columns. You're going to hit create custom metric here at the top. And now we'll see try popular custom formulas. And it's the first one that's added here. So if I just click this, I'm going to move our heads there. I'm going to click this and it's going to insert it here. And it's actually already changed it to a percentage. Now, impressions per 3-second video play rate. That's a boring and long title. So we just call that attention. Or you can call it whatever you want. Like people call it thumb stop.
Scroll stop.
Yeah. So anything you want to call it, you can call it whatever you want, as long as you know what that's going to be. And that's what it's going to give you. That's what we have here. Now, the benchmark that you want to aim for here really is 25%. So you want to make sure that you are grabbing attention of at least 25 of the impressions that you're 25% of the impressions that you're paying for. That is the benchmark. We can see we're quite a bit higher than that, so that's great. Another little kind of bonus one is hold rate. Now, this goes beyond the attention metric. Now, a through play in Facebook is a video metric that is defined that somebody that watches your video for at least 15 seconds or to completion. So we know that it goes beyond the 3-second views. So what that is through plays divided by 3-second video plays. So what percentage of those that stopped and watched for 3 seconds kept watching? And again, for that, we want to be looking at about 20 to 25% as a benchmark. 25% is better. And again, we've got a solid hold rate here as well. So that is kind of like the inside scoop on how to do those custom metrics. And again, for hold rate, if we were going to make that, we'd just scroll down to customize columns. It's not going to be on the right here. But what we do is say through plays divided by 3-second video plays, change the format to percentage, and then name whatever you want. We call it hold rate percentage. And then you're good to go. And we can see the other custom metrics here as well. So impressions to post engagement. So that's going to give you a percentage on what percentage of people that see your ad are engaging. That just gives you a little bit of an engagement rate almost. One thing that you do have to consider here with post engagement rate is that it will differ massively between image ads and video ads because a 3-second video play is classed as an engagement. So what we like to do is, what I do is I always say, I get a little bit mathematical because I'm a nerd. I do bracket post engagements minus 3-second video plays, and then you can kind of equally establish images against videos a little bit more. And I like to look at all of those across. But yeah, we've got a few custom metrics here on the right. Link clicks to landing page views. So this is going to give you what percentage of people actually make it to your website. So, you know, a landing page view is fired on your Facebook pixel as a page view once somebody actually loads the screen. So the amount of people that click the link, it's going to give you a rough estimation of your website load speed, essentially. But also, well, we kind of reverse this and do and make it traffic loss, because we want to look at how much we're losing. Because basically, if you look at this, your brain automatically does the calculation, the reverse to see what percentage you're losing. So you may as well just start that way. We do traffic loss and kind of reverse the calculation in a different formula. But yeah, so these are some really good things to keep an eye on. But one thing to note is that just start off with attention, and then kind of don't be what's that saying? Analysis paralysis or something. Don't just give yourself a bunch of random metrics and take action off of everything. You just want to make sure, you know, the first job of your ad is to grab attention. That you can't do anything else unless you do that first. So you've got to grab attention. And with video ads, this is a really awesome way to see how your ad is stacking up to check that first box.
It's important as well, because if your ad's not getting attention, so like we said, the benchmark's like 25%. Did we say 20%? 25% we want to go for.
25% is better for attention, yeah.
Yeah, so on the benchmark of 25%. So let's say you are running ads now, or you're about to launch your ads. And let's say, for argument's sake, you've got an attention of 15%. So we know that it's below the benchmark of 25%. What that means is that not enough people are stopping on your ad. So it doesn't necessarily mean that you've got a bad ad and you've got to go and recreate the whole thing again. But the first job is, because we can actually pinpoint that the first 3 seconds of your video isn't grabbing attention, the first test, rather than doing a whole new edit, could simply be trying to make new variations by just changing the first 3 seconds. And this is what we are basically constantly testing. We're constantly testing in the first instance, right? Are we getting attention? If we are getting attention, we need to start looking at the other metrics, which we're not going to get into today. But if we're not, what can we actually do to change the ad to get that attention rate higher than 25%? Like, sometimes there's people inside the Wedding Business Accelerator that can fluctuate quite a bit. Like, we've seen attention up to like 55% and stuff sometimes, which are like insane numbers. But just to go over some of the things that we do to grab attention on social media. So if you followed the YouTube video to set up the Thunderdome system, or if you've looked at it, you might have even just been on a live and heard me and Jamie talking about it. You'll see that when we upload our ads to Facebook, we always create, or not always, but most of the time, we'll create 3 variations of the same ad inside of one ad set. And what happens is, we are basically having the same video 3 times. And all we do on each three of the variations is change the first 3 seconds. So each video has a different first 3 seconds. And the reason for this is so we can work out which scenario, if we're talking about a scenario-based one, grabs the attention. So let me give you an example. One of the ones that we've talked about quite a lot, and it's an easy one to understand, is when I used the dad reveal as an ad. So I created dad reveal, coming in the room. He's seen his daughter in a wedding dress. He came in. The bridesmaids were all lined up. So just to let you know, the 3 videos that we uploaded were all the same. But video 1, the first 3 seconds, just focused on the dad. Video 2 was a shot where it started with the bride. And then video 3 was a wider shot, which had them both in the shot together, or was where they're coming together, cuddling. But then after the first 3 seconds, the video is the same on each one. Then what happens is, once we figure out of those 3 variations, is it the dad, is it them both in the shot at the same time, or is it the bride, we can then pull the winning ad out of that and then move on to testing the next concept. I can tell you from that test, the best one was the dad actually walking in the room by himself. That's the one that got the best attention.
I'm just looking at it now. It's got a 46, almost 47% attention rate, and the hold rate was 31% as well.
Yeah, so you can see, and the reason that's important, right? And I'll tell you why, that if you're running ads, that this is going to give you such an advantage over your competition. because most people in the wedding industry, most of them who are running ads are boosting posts anyway, which you shouldn't be doing. But they're boosting post with one video and they're leaving that video running all of the time. So what we're doing is we're testing different variations. We're always testing new concepts, which means when you do find ads that really grab attention, you can start then to go and make more variations of it. So just to give you an example, because that dad reveal worked so well for me, and then I knew that the dad on his own was the one that got the best attention, I then went and made it again from a different wedding. I started all 3 variations with the dad, but this time we were testing a hook across the screen. And what I mean by a hook was a bit of text written. Because we know the dad grabs the most attention on his own, we now do the 3 variations where, right, we'll have it might be 2 different hooks, it might be 3, depending on which way you go for it. But something like wait for his reaction. And then it might be, I'll never forget the look on my dad's face, or it might be, it's like press and play on my wedding photos. So we test the different hooks because we've now found the winning concept. And it's always a case of trying to do new tests to find out which one grabs the most attention.
Yeah, and it's an important one because it gives you direction as well to go in. It gives you direction to move forward in, and that's the key. Like, I think everybody wants to try to get to to create like an unstoppable, like that one ad that's going to do everything, but that's not the case. You're going to just continuously get better. It doesn't mean that you're going to add like another job role to yourself. You know, that's the whole idea is to be able to manage your ads in 3 to 4 hours a week. So being able to just create concepts once you get into a flow, and then launch it and prep things and get them launched it's not as once you get into a flow, you're running.
It's that's a really good point you've just mentioned there, by the way, about finding that one mega killer ad that absolutely crushes it, because you can make an ad that absolutely kills it and crushes it. But there's going to be a point in time where it fatigues because people have seen it too much, and you need to freshen up a new concept. So it's not about, it is about finding those killer ads. That's the whole game. But once you've found an ad that's absolutely crushing it, the next goal is to find something else that can perform better than that killer ad. And that's what the game's about. It's about finding killer ads that are crushing it, or bringing in leads, and then basically introducing new concepts. And when I say concepts, I'm talking about key highlights from a wedding. So it might be a dad reveal, it might be a confetti, it might be a groom reaction, it might be a mashup of all of them. But a concept is just a way you've edited an ad and it's got a particular style attached to it, or a particular highlights moment. And it's always about challenging those winning ads. And it's just a continuous cycle of trying to find better ads. But more importantly, to begin with, trying to find ads that grab more attention, because the more attention that you grab, the more people are going to see the rest of your video. It's just maths, basically.
Yeah, and especially if you're not nationwide, if you're not like a photographer, videographer that travels like anywhere in the UK. If you I don't want to say limit yourself, but if you only want to work in a certain area, even if it's a big area, but it's the smaller area that you confine your ads to, the faster your stuff will fatigue because people just see it more often. So you're at the drawing board more often than somebody that is running ads nationwide.
Not just as well, right? Not just for grabbing attention. One thing that we need to think about as well, like obviously we talk there about changing the first 3 seconds or adding a hook across the screen. But one thing that we never really mention on these lives is, and I think it's quite important, is aspect ratios, because a lot of people inside of this industry, in the wedding industry, will always upload their ad, especially if they're boosting a post, which will be the show reel, and it'll be 16:9, which is horizontal. But on social media, if you just think about how much real estate a vertical ad or a vertical video or a vertical image takes up on phone versus a horizontal one, you'll see that a vertical one will take up nearly the full space of the phone. Yes, on certain placements, Facebook are going to narrow that down to 4:5. But what it means is you've got more chance of grabbing someone's attention if it takes up more real estate on the phone. Now, don't get me wrong. 16:9 can still work, and we've seen it work. Like I used to run a retargeting campaign. I would have only vertical videos front end, but then I would run retargeting, and it was a show reel. And I'd have that as 16:9. And I totally understand, by the way, why people in the wedding industry want to show the 16:9 videos, because it's the way you framed the shot. It's shown the best framing. You've probably got other things that are quite wide in the shot that you want to show, and I get it. but that's better placed for your website because social media has a very particular style of content. Like if you think of Instagram Reels, TikTok, Facebook Reels, YouTube Shorts, it's all vertical content because this is the way at the minute how people are consuming content. So we've got to provide people on social media, get them interested with the way they would expect to see the content. We'll move that traffic from social across to our website, and then that's when we'll unload the stuff that we want them to see. So give them what they want to see on social, get the traffic across, then we show them what we want them showing, the best work and stuff like that.
Yeah. And I think that we've uncovered some really interesting insights, and a lot of which are quite unexpected as well, inside the Wedding Business Accelerator. Ones that we'll get into and kind of reveal next week in the 3-day workshop, especially on the content day. But yeah, it's interesting. You have to kind of, I think one thing to remember is when you're advertising something, you don't really have a choice where to advertise and what you're advertising. You've got to meet people where they are. They've got to give them what they want. Even if it's not what you want to give them, you have to give them what they want, and then you can move them on. There's a story about the ham and the garlic, which is a really good metaphor for it. So there's a dog that's got fleas, and if you feed it garlic, it gets rid of the fleas. All the fleas go away, and it cures it of the fleas. But the dog won't eat the garlic because it's minging. So what you got to do is wrap the garlic in the ham, and then the dog is going to eat it, and it's going to get rid of the fleas. The metaphor of the story is you got to give people what they want before you can give them what they need to see in order to become a lead or a booking. So that's something to always keep in your mind. But it's so much harder as the photographer or videographer because it's hard. You kind of have to almost stop being, take yourself out of your regular, especially videographers. Take yourself out of your regular mode and adjust to social for social.
Yeah, and I said this at the beginning of the live. I do get it. I totally understand why people want to do it this way, and it's probably an unnatural move to convert your 16:9 footage into 9:16 vertical because you just know that it's not the framing, it's not how it doesn't look best that way, but. Like you said, we've got to give them what they want first before we give them what it is that they actually need. And if you want to grab attention on social media, obviously this might change in the future. I mean, I personally don't think it's going to change anytime soon. I mean, it seems that TikTok are starting to really test 16:9 videos, and they're probably going after a bit of audience share that YouTube have got by offering longer videos, and they're pushing 16:9. However, You what?
Unless the Congress bill bans them.
Yeah, unless they get banned in the US.
Got a unanimous decision almost.
But unless, and I understand why they're trying to go by 16:9, but unless someone changes the shape of a phone anytime soon, I just cannot see how 16:9 footage is going to overtake vertical again until someone does it, because there's no way anyone is going to go back to doing this like we used to ages ago to watch videos. It just doesn't happen. Everyone's.
I think it's going to take about between 5 and 10 years to change that, because there is going to be a point in time where 25% of people's days, it's probably going to take about 15 years, are going to be having these Apple Vision Pro things on, because it just makes no sense not to. Now it feels weird for us, but the next generation won't find it so weird. And they're gonna spend most of the time probably in one of those things where you don't need, laptops and computer screens are about to be irrelevant, which is a mental thought in itself, because you could just put these Vision Pro things on and your entire room turns into a screen, or as many screens as you want. So until that happens, we're going to be 16:9, 9:16.
You just admitted live on video that you're going to be switching to Apple. I heard that. That was.
I said them Apple wait until Samsung brings a banger out.
That's what I took away from that. Jamie's going to Apple. Do I have any questions, by the way? We've got a few people on. Any questions? If you've got any questions, get them in the comments, and we'll answer them for you. You've probably seen inside of the group that we are running a workshop starting this Monday. It's a 3-day workshop. It's basically £9.99 for the 3 days. Each day is 90 minutes long. But we're not going to be doing it on a live like this. We're going to be doing it on a Zoom. So you can come chat with me and Jamie as we're delivering the workshop. It's going to be time to go through your own stuff. So if you haven't signed up to that workshop for £9.99, jump on that now, because like I said in the video I posted in the group, if we were to run this as a workshop in person, it's going to be £500 plus. So there's going to be a ton of value for people. So make sure that you jump on the workshop. If you've got any questions, post inside of the Get Seen Get Booked Facebook group, and me or Jamie will be more than happy to answer them for you. But if we've got any questions about today's live now, please get them in the comments. Anything you want to know about video content, or if you're a photographer and you want to know specific stuff about video, grab an attention, get the questions in now, and we'll answer them for you. Anything we've missed, Jamie, that you want to go over?
No, I was just going to say those that are watching, let me know in the comments who we've got on, but also kind of like the other side of the coin for the workshop next week. If you're somebody that isn't, how can I put this? If you're somebody that isn't, if you're just going to turn up to the workshop and then not do anything, probably don't come if you don't mind. Yeah, just save the space for other people, because we've deliberately put almost like we've deliberately made it, we want people that are going to take action and take things away from it. So if you are, if you are the kind of person that has bought things in the past, and you're so busy that you haven't took action on them, but you're determined to like stop that and turn things around, then definitely join. Again, it's so the setup for next week's 3-day workshop is going to be, every day will be from 11 a.m. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, 11 a.m. for 90 minutes maximum per session. You're also going to get access to the recordings, but the kind of bonus for this is that we are opening the workshop. We are opening the Wedding Business Accelerator on Thursday, sorry, but anyone that joins the workshop will get 24-hour early access, and there's only 10 spots available, and the doors will close whether those 10 spots are filled up or not 48 hours after that as well. So there's a good chance that the spots are going to get filled up by those on the workshop. If you want to sign up to the workshop and then watch the recordings later, you can do that, but make sure that you try to do it on the evening time. Because one of the things about this workshop is we want to give you a taste of what the group coaching is like. We want to make sure that you know that it's right for you. We don't want to get you in the workshop, get you in the accelerator, and then have you all signed up and being like, you know what, this is not what I want, this is not what I thought it was, blah, 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 blah. We want to give you a taste of it. We want to get you to take action so you can see the value, see the changes, see some results, and make sure that it's right for you, and then get you inside the accelerator if that is where you feel like, if you're ready to massively get more bookings, get more leads, and you're ready to join. So that's kind of like a short, long synopsis. But yeah, it's happening on Monday, so make sure that you sign up sharpish. I know we've got a few people on, so dropping. In fact, I tell you what, if you are watching, do me a favor, let me know if you're watching on your phone or on your laptop, because this StreamYard here has just given what we're streaming this live into the group from, has just give us an option to stream vertically, like in a Reels format. So if we've got people watching on a desktop, it's going to look a bit daft. But if we've got people watching on the phones, then that might make more sense and look better. So if you can, if you're not driving, or if you're not busy, or if you're not running on the treadmill at the gym, then yeah, let us know where you're watching from and how you're watching, please. And that helps make sure we've got somebody's phone. We've got a phone from somebody.
Alex is saying phone. Actually, Alex is registered for the workshop. So Alex, I've seen you post in the group as well about the website, and on one of the days in the workshop, it's actually about optimizing landing pages. So obviously we're running it on Zoom, but you're going to get access to the private group as well, where we'll be able to answer like questions specifically about that. So we'll go through all of that and help you optimize that landing page, because I know that you are running ads at the minute, mate, which is great. So what we can do is, like, even the attention metric that we talked about today, even when we're running ads, we can actually have a look at some of your data, and we can do that. And likewise, anyone else who is running ads, that's what the workshop's for. That's why we're doing the Zoom, but also we're giving you access to the private group so you can ask questions about it. And if you're not running ads, don't worry. It's basically about getting to a point where you can run ads, and that's what the whole point is. And for $9.99, it's totally worth it.
Yeah. And I think for that web, when he posted the website, I'd seen it before this call, so I was going to comment after. Something to one of the things that we go into on day 2 with your landing pages and stuff, and something that I noticed that you were doing is the language is framed too much about yourself. So there's too much we and our. You're going to make it about the customer. So add a little bit more of that. But that's something that we're going to dive into, just to give you the lightest bit of taste on it. Is that's something that is a big shift that can make a small shift that makes a massive difference.
Yeah.
Well, we'll dive into that on day 2.
Alex has already said that he's using phone. Paul, how you doing, Paul? Paul, are you still running ads? I'm pretty sure Paul was running ads. The last time we had a chat, it was quite a few months ago now. And Paul's also saying phone. Alex is saying that he can't wait for the actual workshop. Yeah, I can't wait as well. Corley, hi Corley, how you doing? Corley saying that I can't wait to watch it. As Billy knows, I'm unable to actually attend, but I've got my social media manager to tune in for me as they run my Instagram and watch it myself on the evenings. Yeah, that's no problem, Corley, at all. If you've got a social media manager, which is quite unique in the wedding industry, I don't think many people have it.
I know, yeah.
Which is quite good. I'm looking forward to having a chat with you about that. Your social media manager can by all means jump on the Zoom if you're not going to be on. If there's anything you wanted, that's no problem at all. Just drop me a message and I can sort that out for you, mate. That's all good. And Alex is actually saying he must have followed this live, and he's saying that my attention metric is great. It's over 40%. Yeah, that's astronomical. That's absolutely fantastic.
It's good if you're running ads for leads. If you are running ads for video views, it will be inflated. But if you're optimizing for leads, and you're not optimizing for video views or traffic, that's epic, mate. Well done. I'm
pretty confident that Alex is running for leads because I'm pretty sure he followed our Thunderdome system, and he jumped on the live last week or the week before when we were talking about this. Yeah,
all leads, he said. Get in, mate. Well done.
So that's a really, really good attention metric, Alex, that you've got over 40%. So if you are grabbing attention, the next thing that we need to look at is like the link clicks. And I know this was one of the questions that you had. So are we getting link clicks? But not only that, there's another metric that you need to look at in the middle, which is traffic loss, to see how many people are clicking on your ad and making it across to your website. But don't worry, we're going to be getting into this sort of stuff starting Monday, mate. But do we have any other questions just before we... I mean, we're more than happy to stay on like we always are. But if you've got any questions, get them in the comments now, and that would be great. It does seem that 2 people said they were using the phone. I suspect most people are watching this on the phone. Anyone else watching if you haven't voted?
I count 3. Alex has said phone as well, yeah.
Did he?
At the end of his longer...
Oh, yeah, phone. I missed that bit, yeah. So 3. Maybe we'll test that out next week, the vertical orientation.
We'll do a vertical one next week.
But if you are running ads, make sure that you set up that custom metric. We, like Jamie said, we've been using it for years now, but we were creating it as a custom. But it's something that Facebook are pushing out. It's a little bit like the red zone where you can't put text, that we've been using for ages, and then Facebook started to introduce their own templates and stuff for it. Facebook realized what they need to be providing people, and they're trying to make it as easy as possible. So it's worth looking at all this stuff, and if any suggestions that they have, any metrics. I mean, there's so many metrics, you don't need to go over all of them, but there's key ones that you definitely need to be aware of to make some key decisions on your ads. Test different concepts, test different 3 seconds, test different hooks written across the screen, and it is about testing and finding out what is or isn't working. It doesn't look like we've got any more questions though, Jamie. Is there anything you want to just... Any final words to wrap the live up with?
Sign off. No, just make sure you go into, if you just joined in earlier on, we went through how to create the custom metric inside of Ads Manager. It's very, very simple. Just a few clicks. And you can, it's worth noting so that you know whether or not, because we have to identify where the issue is. Like, the first step to look at is, are you grabbing attention? If you're not, then that's where you need to start. Yeah. If you are grabbing attention, are you getting clicks? If you're not, and then it goes on from there. Is your website loading? Is your website converting? All that stuff. There's steps like Billy said we'll go into in next week's workshop. But But yeah, we make sure that you at least start by creating that attention metric and taking a look and seeing how you're doing. And if you're not, if you're serious about taking, all of these lives that we do, and you want to kind of take that to a next level on a group coaching basis, then definitely get signed up for the workshop next week. And then also, just because I've seen Billy's comment and reminders, make sure you subscribe and listen to the podcast. Both YouTube, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts, as people seem to say. So
that was an accident. I don't know why it posted from that. If you can see that, I don't think you can actually. I think it's just trying to. I think it's because I've commented on StreamYard, but it's pulled in from the YouTube side of things. Paul is just saying sorry, trying to do too many things at once, but yeah, still running ads. Good stuff, Paul. I hope they're working well for you. If you're all looking for any assistance, obviously the workshop is on Monday. You can jump on that if you are available, mate. But thanks very much for jumping on, guys. I've posted the link to the workshop in the comment section. You can obviously find it inside of the Facebook group as well. And we're more than happy to answer any questions. But thanks for jumping on, guys. And we will speak to you on Monday when the workshop starts. Thanks, guys.
Cheers, guys.